December 2022 started like every other party at the Golden Oak Hotel. The magnificent Victorian-era building stood proudly against the snow-covered mountains, its windows glowing with warmth. For generations, wealthy families had gathered here, and mine was no exception. I watched from the grand staircase as my sister Olivia made her entrance, her designer dress catching the light from the crystal chandeliers. Behind her, my brother Marcus strutted in with his wife Isabella, their twin boys dressed in matching suits. My parents, Richard and Diana Hamilton, followed, their silver hair and refined attire perfectly matching the hotel's elegant atmosphere. I tugged at my simple black dress, a stark contrast to their extravagance. At 32, I was the family disappointment, the daughter who chose to become a restoration architect instead of joining the family's investment firm. "Sarah, darling," my mother's voice dripped with familiar disdain. "Couldn't you have worn something more appropriate? This is the Golden Oak, not some construction site." Before I could respond, Mr. Patterson, the elderly hotel owner, approached our family. "The Hamiltons. Welcome back. Your usual suite is ready." My father beamed with pride. "Patterson, old friend, this hotel is the only place worthy of our family traditions." I love the Golden Oak, but for different reasons. While my family saw status, I saw history in every weathered brick and carved banister. I'd spent years studying its architecture, dreaming of buildings like this. During dinner, the conversation turned to Marcus's recent business success. "Another $1 million deal," my father boasted. "Now that's a proper career." "Unlike some people's hobby," Isabella muttered, shooting me a pointed look. I gripped my fork tighter. "Restoration architecture isn't a hobby. I'm currently working on." "Please," Olivia interrupted, "spare us the details of your little projects. Nobody wants to hear about old buildings during party dinner." The final blow came during dessert. My mother clinked her glass, gathering everyone's attention. "We have an announcement. Next year, we're making party at the Golden Oak even more special. We're having an engagement party for Olivia and James. James Morgan, the man I dated for 2 years before Olivia swept in and claimed him for herself." My sister smirked at me across the table. "Of course," my father added, "we'll need to maintain certain standards. Sarah, perhaps it's best if you skip next year's celebration. We can't risk any unfortunate incidents." The room fell silent. Years of subtle jabs had finally culminated in outright exclusion. I stood up, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor. "You're right, Father. I won't be attending next year's party as a guest." I walked out of the dining room, pausing only to take one last look at the beautiful hotel lobby. Mr. Patterson stood near the front desk, concern etched on his kind face. He'd watched our family dynamics play out for years. That night, in my small apartment, I made a call to my bank. My years of careful saving and successful restoration projects had left me with substantial resources. I'd been looking for the perfect investment opportunity. 2 weeks later, I learned that Mr. Patterson was retiring and selling the Golden Oak. The hotel needed major renovations, work that would cost millions. Most potential buyers wanted to modernize it, destroying its historic charm. I opened my laptop and drafted an email. "Dear Mr. Patterson, I have a proposition about the Golden Oak Hotel." My family had just given me the perfect revenge, gift wrapped in holiday paper. They thought they were banning me from their party tradition. Instead, they'd given me the motivation to become part of the hotel's legacy in a way they never imagined. Little did they know, next party would be very different. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served with a welcome drink in a beautifully restored historic hotel lobby. As I signed the preliminary paperwork, Mr. Patterson smiled knowingly. "Your family never quite appreciated what you do, did they, Sarah?" "No," I replied, running my hand along the antique reception desk. "But they're about to learn." The Golden Oak would shine again, and this time on my terms. After all, I wasn't just buying a hotel. I was buying the perfect stage for a long overdue family lesson in respect. 11 months passed in a whirlwind of restoration work. I poured every ounce of my expertise and passion into bringing the Golden Oak Hotel back to its original glory, with subtle modern touches that enhanced rather than overshadowed its historic charm. The news of my purchase remained confidential, known only to Mr. Patterson and my trusted team. The hotel operated under a management company's name, allowing me to work behind the scenes. My family, wrapped up in their own lives, never noticed my name on any paperwork. 1 week before party, I stood in the newly restored lobby, admiring the hand-painted ceiling murals we'd uncovered beneath years of beige paint. The original hardwood floors gleamed, and the restored Victorian light fixtures cast a warm glow throughout the space. Miss Hamilton, Thomas, my new hotel manager, approached with a tablet. Your family's usual reservation just came through. They've requested the East Wing suite, as always. I smiled, reviewing their booking. Put them in the North Wing instead. I have special plans for the East Wing. The North Wing, while beautiful, had a perfect view of the construction equipment I deliberately left visible. I knew it would irritate my status-conscious family to no end. My phone buzzed with a text from Olivia. The hotel better not have changed too much. My engagement party needs to be perfect. I didn't reply. Instead, I focused on the final touches. Each room now told a story of the hotel's rich history through carefully curated photographs and artifacts. Even the staff uniforms were designed to reflect the hotel's Victorian origins. December 23rd arrived with a heavy snowfall. I watched from my office as my family's cars pulled up to the entrance. Their shocked expressions at seeing construction equipment were visible even from a distance. What happened to this place? I heard my mother's shrill voice through the security feed. It looks like a construction zone. Thomas greeted them with practiced professionalism. Welcome to the Golden Oak Hotel. We're undergoing some historic restoration work. Your suite is ready in the North Wing. North Wing? My father exploded. We always stay in the East Wing. We're valued customers. My apologies, sir. The East Wing is reserved for a special event. I watched Isabella pull out her phone, probably trying to find another luxury hotel. Everything's booked, she hissed. It's party. They grudgingly accepted their rooms, but the complaints continued. My mother demanded to speak to the owner about the deteriorating standards. Thomas politely informed her that the owner would be present at tomorrow's party eve dinner. That evening, I silently observed as they gathered in the renovated dining room. Despite their earlier complaints, they couldn't help but admire the restored Victorian details. At least they kept some of the old charm, Olivia conceded, running her hand along the original wainscoting we carefully restored. Did you see the historical displays? One of Marcus's twins asked excitedly. They showed how they built the hotel in 1887. Who cares about old pictures? Isabella snapped. We need to discuss moving the engagement party. This place isn't up to our standards anymore. I smiled, knowing tomorrow would change everything. The party eve dinner was always the hotel's grandest event, and this year would be no exception. That night, I walked the halls of my hotel, touching the walls that held so many memories. In the East Wing, I checked on my surprise. A detailed exhibition of the hotel's restoration process, including before and after photos and architectural plans. My name and credentials were prominently displayed as the lead architect and new owner. On party eve morning, I received an unexpected visit from Mr. Patterson. They have no idea what's coming, do they? He chuckled, looking dapper in his suit. Not a clue, I replied. Will you be joining us for dinner? Wouldn't miss it for the world. You've done amazing things here, Sarah. This place hasn't looked this good since my grandfather ran it. As evening approached, I dressed carefully in a deep green vintage-inspired gown that perfectly complemented the hotel's aesthetic. The staff was briefed, the dining room was decorated magnificently, and every detail was in place. From my office, I watched my family enter the dining room, their faces showing reluctant appreciation for the elegant holiday decorations. They took their usual table, the same one where they'd excluded me the year before. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas announced to the packed dining room, please welcome the new owner of the Golden Oak Hotel, who will share some words about the recent restoration. I took a deep breath and opened my office door. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just about proving others wrong, it's about proving yourself right. The stage was set, the players were in position, and I was finally ready to show my family exactly what their embarrassment of a daughter had achieved. As I walked toward the dining room, the weight of the moment settled around me like a warm blanket. It was time to unwrap my party surprise. The dining room fell silent as I walked in. My heels clicked against the restored hardwood floors, each step echoing in the hushed space. I caught my family's expressions transforming from curiosity to shock as they recognized me. Good evening, everyone. I spoke into the microphone, my voice steady and confident. I'm Sarah Hamilton, and I'm proud to welcome you to my hotel. My mother's wine glass froze halfway to her lips. Olivia's mouth dropped open, and my father's face turned an interesting shade of red. Marcus, for once, looked speechless. As many of you know, the Golden Oak Hotel has been a cornerstone of holiday traditions for countless families. When I purchased it from my dear friend Mr. Patterson, I promised to preserve its legacy while breathing new life into its historic bones. I gestured to the surrounding restoration work. Every detail you see, from the restored crown molding to the recreated Victorian wallpaper, represents our commitment to honoring this building's heritage. Isabella whispered something to Olivia, who shook her head in disbelief. My father seemed to be calculating something in his head, probably trying to figure out how I could afford such a purchase. I invite you all to join me after dinner for a special exhibition in the East Wing, where you can explore the restoration process in detail. But first, let's enjoy our party Eve dinner. I took my seat at a small table with Mr. Patterson, deliberately positioned where my family could see us clearly. Throughout dinner, I caught them throwing glances my way, whispering among themselves. Finally, my father approached my table. Sarah, we need to talk. Privately. I smiled politely. Of course, father. Shall we view the exhibition? Leading my family to the East Wing, I watched their faces as they took in the detailed displays. Photos showed the careful restoration process, architectural plans bore my signature, and press clippings praised the preservation work. You did all this? Marcus asked, studying a before and after comparison. Every bit of it, Mr. Patterson answered for me. Sarah's vision saved this hotel. Other buyers wanted to gut it and turn it into another soulless modern resort. My mother touched a panel showing the financial investment involved. But how could you afford? Restoration architecture isn't just a hobby, Mother. I've been successful for years. You just never bothered to notice. Olivia stepped forward, her engagement ring catching the light. Is this why you're doing this? To get back at me about James? I laughed genuinely. Believe it or not, Olivia, not everything is about you. I bought this hotel because I love it. Watching your faces tonight was just a bonus. So what now? My father demanded. Are you throwing us out? Banning us like we banned you? I turned to face my family, standing tall in the hotel I poured my heart into. No, that's the difference between us. The Golden Oak welcomes everyone who respects its history and values. You're welcome to continue your traditions here, as paying guests, of course. Isabella scoffed. You expect us to just accept this. Accept it, leave, it's your choice. But know this, I'm not the failure you thought I was. I never was. My brother's twins tugged at my dress. Aunt Sarah, can you show us how you fixed the secret passage in the library? We saw it in the display. For the first time that evening, I saw my family really look at me, not as the disappointment, but as someone who had achieved something remarkable. Sarah, my father said quietly, I was wrong. We were all wrong. Yes, you were, I agreed. But it's party Eve, and this hotel has always been about bringing families together, even imperfect ones. Over the next hour, I gave them a proper tour. My mother actually gasped at the restored ballroom, and Marcus asked intelligent questions about the renovation process. Even Olivia admitted the hotel looked better than ever. As the evening wound down, Mr. Patterson raised his glass. To Sarah, who proved that preserving the past can build a better future. My family joined the toast, somewhat awkwardly but sincerely. It wasn't a perfect reconciliation. Those take time, but it was a start. Later that night, after the guests had retired, I stood in the lobby looking at the party tree. Its lights reflected off the polished floors, creating a magical glow. Quite a party, surprise, Hamas commented, joining me. The best revenge isn't about getting even, I replied. It's about rising above and creating something beautiful. As snow fell outside the grand windows, I smiled, knowing that next year's party would be different. Not because of spite or revenge, but because sometimes the greatest gift is showing others that success comes in many forms. The Golden Oak Hotel would continue to host family celebrations, including mine. And every party, its walls would remind us that the best traditions are the ones that grow and change, just like the families who create them.